Good morning. It's time for a coffee just before we set off. I've got Milo the pug here. You can see him somewhere. There he is. And today we're taking the bus on our first trip, which is to Edinburgh. So hopefully the weather stays a bit better than the forecast. So what kind of car does an ID bus owner have in his driveway? So let's have a look. We have a trip planned today through to Edinburgh in the bus. I thought I'd give you a little view of the rest of the cars we have here. This is our Touareg Black Edition. This is really a lovely car, but it does feel a bit old-fashioned when you've been used to driving the bus for a couple of days. This is the 286 brake horsepower model. Great spec as standard, 21-inch alloys, air suspension. We've got a couple of extras on this one, which are the heated windscreen. Definitely been needing that at some point today. And the four-wheel steering, so it's rear axle steering in it. It feels great. Obviously this is the bus. You may have seen this in a previous handover video. And this is the car we're going to be going out for a drive in today through to Edinburgh. And here's the rest of what we have sitting here. It's maybe not what your average bus owner would have. It's certainly not what your average supercar owner buys as a bus. But what do we have? So we have here my 2022 Porsche Spider PDK, finished in shark blue, which is one of my favourite colours. I wanted this colour on a Porsche for a long time. They used to do Riviera blue. I think that was in the 70s and 80s, and it was a paint to sample, about £6,800. I didn't get a paint to sample slot, but just before that they announced shark blue, so I plumped for that. I think it was about £1,600 for that paint. This is the daddy. This is my McLaren 600 LT Spider. And the Porsche is quick. This makes the car feel very, very slow. This is a 2020 car, finished in MSO Sarth Grey Metallic. Has an awesome specification. Carbon packs 1 and 2, which gives you the carbon packs, carbon bumpers front and rear, carbon mirrors, carbon side skirts, carbon side intakes as well. This, I love this car. You can look at all the carbon on this. And even more exciting, inside we have the Senna seats, which are gorgeous to look at, and they look terribly uncomfortable, but they're absolutely necessary for a track day, and on the road they are far more comfortable than the Porsche equivalent, which is the carbon bucket seats. So today we're taking the bus on its first road trip. It's been on charge. Used my PodPoint charger, and it worked out at about 14 pence per kilowatt, which would mean off peak, which would mean a full tank would be about £11 if you were down to empty. That's pretty good value for money, I would say. So let's see how the car copes with range today. I'll say goodbye to these two and we'll get back in the house. You'll join us later when we're on the trip. Okay, that's us good to go. Looks like the traffic's a bit slower than normal, maybe the weather, it's a bit inclement. So a journey time of 1 hour 35 is forecast. It's 59 miles to get to our destination. We're setting off at 98% charge, and it says we have 216 miles of range. Well, let's see how that goes. Okay, well, we've covered 4 miles. We're now on the Tay Road Bridge, not the railway, and we've lost 10 miles of range for 3% of the battery. So it is extremely cold outside, So no range anxiety yet, but we are losing charge quite quickly. I'll give you an update a little bit later. Okay, well, the snow is continuing, but so far the car is performing quite well, I would say. It feels very stable, feels there's plenty of grip. I guess the 2.5 ton weight would help with that. One fault we have noticed is, if you look here, the wireless charging is not working on my iPhone 14 Pro, so it's slotted in properly and it fails to charge. So we'll maybe try taking off the cover and see if that helps. Well, the weather is definitely getting worse. If you look to the left, the snow's beginning to lie. We're bringing the speed down a bit safer. Thank God we've got a heated steering wheel, otherwise it'd be a bit chilly, I think. We've taken the cover off the mobile phone, put it back in. It charged for about 30 seconds, and then a notification came up to say it's unable to charge the phone, which is pretty useless, really. Roads are really beginning to white out. This might not be the day to venture out in the buzz to Edinburgh. Let's see how far we can get. Well, we really have a whiteout now, and because of the snowfall, we've actually got a number of warning lights now on the dash. These lights basically are telling me that the front assist is no longer available. Okay, so the conditions are definitely getting worse. It's beginning to feel a little bit slippy on the road. Okay, you may notice we are now in the other direction. So we've phoned ahead and there's a weather warning ahead for snow. Even the motorway is packed now. They're saying the journey time via the motorway is actually an extra hour than originally planned. So we've decided we better head home. Well, the weather definitely has taken a turn for the worse. The temperature's sitting at 0 and there's actually ice underneath the snow. In the buzz's favour, it's actually quite stable and seems to have plenty of grip for a rear-wheel drive car, although we're not going fast at all. But we've decided to turn around and head home. Okay, well, we're slightly further down the road. The conditions aren't any better. The warning lights are still on. But let's have a look at the range. Well, now it's saying we have 84% of the battery left with a 174 mile range. I guess in this weather, if you want to drive 174 miles, you're a braver man than I am. Well, the road trip might have been cut a little bit short today, but the virtues of the ID Buzz are starting to really appeal. These captain's chairs with these armrests are fantastic. They're such a great driving position with the visibility. I mean, it really is quite a bit higher than your average SUV, and the quietness. And the car has been extremely sure-footed, far more sure-footed than I thought a rear-wheel drive 2.5 ton BEV car might be. So far so good. That's us approaching the Tay Road Bridge. Conditions are not that great. It's a bit wetter here, but the roads are extremely slippy, and there's been quite a bit of bad driving on the go. Caution, low temperature. I think we guessed that already. Okay, so one of the things about the journey so far is that the mobile phone intermittently charges with the case off. for about 10 seconds, so that's not so good. And the consumption so far, we're getting 2 miles per kilowatt hour, which is quite a bit shorter and less than we expected. I think the quoted range is about 2.7 miles and fully loaded about 2.5 miles per kilowatt, so we're quite a bit down. However, the car hasn't went through 2 charge cycles yet, so this is only the first charge cycle that we're on. And Volkswagen do say that you have to do 2 full charge cycles before the car is calibrated and starts to perform properly. So at this stage, we'll give them the benefit of the doubt. We didn't get to Edinburgh today, but we didn't also put our blue bins out, which are full of cardboard. But there'll be one very happy chappy, and that'll be our dog. Now, our driveway is extremely slippy. In fact, I know someone who was struggling to get up here in a Golf this morning, but actually the bus has got up here a lot easier than I first thought it would. And we'll just ease it back into the driveway. We've got plenty of charge, so I'm not even going to bother topping it up overnight. Conclusions. We covered 37 miles at an average of 2 miles per kilowatt hour, which we've discussed already. Not that good. We've lost 22% of our battery, so we started at 98% charge and a range of 216. We've done 37 miles and we've lost quite a chunk. Now that could be down to the weather, or it could be down to the charging. The warning lights are off, but my phone is still not charging. Now if I give it a good press in, it sometimes works, but it doesn't. So a nice little trip in the bus, not the trip we'd planned, but certainly a little update for those who are following the adventures on my page. Thank you.